First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer.
How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk. Great question was sent my way through the email. I think this question is going to give us a little bit of dialogue. Can't wait to get your comments on this because I like to see what you guys think. But we were talking about positions inside our correctional facilities and whether these positions or posts for officers should be positions that are bidded to them, that they're allowed to bid for these positions and be awarded these positions, or should these positions be assigned daily? And when the officers come in, they're told of where they have to work. So when we come back from our sponsors, I'm going to kind of discuss the differences. This hopefully ignites the dialogue and the concerns from both ends, because there's concerns. So stand by for our sponsors. When we come back, we'll be talking, I guess it's called bidded versus non-bidded positions. And guys, if you haven't, the show Tier Talks for you brave men and women that work in corrections. So please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. The bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. I stand by for our sponsors.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsor. So it's a great dialogue, right? We'll keep this quick. Bidded versus non-bidded positions. So what are we talking about here? Well, so what is a bidded position? Bidded position is something that an officer may go for, a position that they want to bid for. They should have limited bids each year. I forget how many, maybe 2. And they're able to bid for a position based on seniority. The longer they're at the job, they can outbid somebody else. The concern here when it comes to bids is, first off, one thing is a good thing is you got consistency on the unit, right? As a supervisor, I love that. I go to a unit, I got an officer that knows that area, knows how it's ran, knows the inmates. Great consistency helps me be more effective as a supervisor because I can get good information from those officers, or even if I have questions, they can help me. When you have people that don't bid because they can't and they get assigned daily, there's good things to that too. They're getting educated on the bigger scale of how a facility is ran. That's great, especially if those officers are looking to become supervisors. Plus, there's consistency on a greater scale because you're going to have people that know a little bit about each job. They're not totally blindsided when they get put into another position. That could also help if they get mandated for overtime and they have to get pulled out of one post and put to another, right? The only concern that may come up, again, for people that aren't able to bid, is there is a lack of specific consistency in, again, as mentioned, how the units run, the inmates, just some specific knowledge that can help out with the orderly running of the prison. So there's a little bit of a con there. The con for bidded positions, the argument's always going to be the limited education that officers are getting because they could be stuck at one post for years because maybe that's what they prefer. That could also bring about complacency, right? We don't want complacent officers, but that can happen if they're at a bid long enough. You know, just working that daily spot, the same spot all the time. You could learn to be complacent, unfortunately, and that's up to us to try to wake that out of them. You know, we don't want that. And the other concern is, of course, undue familiarity. Just as much as you know the inmates, they're starting to know you. So again, I'm kind of giving a balanced argument, but I'm curious about what your thoughts are. So again, for bidded officers, you got that consistency, right? But the concern is what? The complacency, it's possible it could happen, right? The undue familiarity and the limited amount of education that the officers are getting on a greater scale. And again, if these officers want to become supervisors, what do they really know from working one unit their whole career? I mean, again, there's a lot you can take, don't get me wrong, but there's a bigger picture here. And for the officers that can't bid, the argument's going to be, the number one argument's going to be that consistency. Because that can make also a supervisor who's putting people in these positions, they may, and not that they want to, they may have to micromanage. And we don't want that. We don't want that. And again, when I say micromanage, I'm talking about education. You know, they got new officers at these bids. They may not understand how these bids work, or these positions work. Let me use that word instead. How these positions work. So they may find themselves micromanaging because officers are asking them a lot of questions because they're trying to learn the bid, and that can happen a lot. So does consistency also help out a supervisor? It's another avenue. So guys, what's your thoughts? Bids, no bids? Does the consistency help the supervisor, or are concerns greater, like the complacency, the undue, the limited education that your staff is getting? I'm very curious about your thoughts. I think this will be a very good dialogue for us to have. As always, guys, the show is Tear Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. The bell will notify you every time I post up a video. Take care, guys.